Greetings, one and all. It is I, the Grand Arbiter, here once again, joining you for Saturday tea. I hope you're all doing really well. I'm doing the best I can. I've got my good friend Dan, who's been very interested and invested in filling some potholes. And this clown over here with his ridiculous hair. Hello, June and Charity. It's good to see you. Okay, this needs to go away. Sorry. Hope you're doing well. We're just getting ourselves sedated. Robert, hello. Hope you're doing well. We're just taking our time, doing our business. Everything's going excellent. And the world is a beautiful place. So that is some excitement. I've got my good friend Dan here, Asphalt Dan, and he's just out and about. I do have a new Lego to build. Hello, madam. I hope you're doing quite well. I'm just gonna give us like 5 minutes of breathing time. I hope you're all doing really good today, as best we can during a time of deep crisis. Today we will be building this satellite and space person who is fixing a satellite. I don't know how often people actually fix satellites. I feel like it's cheaper in general and safer to not fix a satellite, but really just, oh, Charity, that's so nice. Thank you for waking up. I wonder if I think it's generally better and cheaper to just send out a new satellite than trying to fix a satellite. I think trying to fix a satellite is kind of a fool's errand in my mind. So let's build a space person. I hope you're all really excited to build this space person. I know I am. I am very delighted to build a space person. This is a very small set, so we'll be done much earlier than normal. So we start with the space person, and they are really the bulk of this set, I think, is the deal. So this space person, so a lot of our space people are, gentlemen, or not space people, just a lot of people. I think that makes sense to fix the Hubble telescope, as it's a giant, much larger telescope to fix. I think fixing like other satellites might not be worth it though, like for DVDs and things. Not DVDs, but for like communication satellites are probably easier to like just send up a new one. I don't know. They probably fix some of them. There's probably a sometimes deal, right? It's probably they sometimes fix them. Okay, so we've done a lot of different kinds of people, but a lot of them have been men. And so I've decided that this space person is a lady, and her name is Ivonne Vonvonnovich, and she is the first of her family to become a cosmonaut. And she's gone out to fix this satellite at the behest of the people. Ivonne Vonvonnovich, everyone. You can't see her face because gender is an illusion, just like the face and the identity. Although her suit really does just like fly right off, doesn't it? But it does have like a little jetpack on it, which is kind of fun. Okay, so Ivonne Vonvonnovich is here. And so Ivonne Vonvonnovich first needs to have her little spy camera, her light, so she can do work. A shoulder lamp. Yes, Ivonne Vonvonnovich. Yes, Ivonne Vonvonnovich. Okay. See, she can do that, and so she's got like a little directable light light that she can use so that she can always see what she's doing. And seeing what you're doing is so important when you're in space. Because in space, no one can hear you, like, hit your head on something. Although I gotta tell you, this one's really fun because really any amount of motion really just, like, pops it right off. So, like, if she needs to, like, emergency launch her space suit, it just, like, flies off, like, that's, like, no effort at all. Almost no effort on my part to, like, fly it off. Like, you can't knock his hat off like that. You can do it, but it doesn't go quite as far. Hello, Cindy. It's good to see you. So, Ivonne Vonvonnovich is out here. She is ready to fix some satellites. So, Ivonne Vonvonnovich, she wants to fix that satellite and find love. She's got her dating app on with her in space. She has a really hard time finding a partner. So she does have her dating app. She uses an astronaut dating app because she really wants to date someone who's really in the field. Something like, I think that the name of the business is like The Stars Are at Fault or something like that. That's the name of the business that she uses for her the dating app that Ivana uses. It's The Stars' Fault to try to find the right space-themed partner. She's not having a lot of luck. She is kind of a notorious... Ivana is sort of notorious for being sort of a stickler and kind of a rude person in some regards. Like, not mean, but she was valedictorian and prom queen and all sorts of other stuff. So she's a little bit of an overachiever, and it can be kind of exhausting. She also just can't stand, she only likes documentaries. She doesn't like actual films, and she finds art films to be detestable. So she's kind of a pain. I can understand why Ivonne Vonvonnovich is having a hard time finding a partner. She's kind of picky, and she's not really the most gregarious person. She's very focused on fixing things, and she sees all potential partners as things to be fixed. And is just, like, not a great way to, like, build a relationship in my mind. It's a little bit conceited, but also it's not useful to go into a relationship with this framework of that everyone else is broken and that you can fix them because you're a genius. I know that you graduated at the top of your class, are a genius in astrophysics and chemistry, but, like, Ivana, come on. You can't just say, oh, well, feelings are for the weak. That seems rude. That seems like a not nice thing to say. Ivana's not like a bad person per se. She's just she's not particularly compassionate when it comes to other people's feelings. She's just a bit self-centered. She's got some challenges. This has got some weird builds, but it's actually very, very quickly coming together because it will be done quite soon. Like, we're already at this stage. This is the stage we're at, and we're, like, almost at satellite phase, which is cool. This is going to be a very short build. We're, like, speeding. No, we should have concerns. I mean, she's gonna have a good professional life, and she's, like, got friends, but she's not, okay. She's not going to become a super villain. Ivana's, like, got a successful career, and generally, like, is just busy fixing satellites and just wants to go to space. She's career motivated. She's not, like, evil. She's just, like, not that... She's a little socially inept. She can get along with others. She just only gets along with other high-level geniuses who are experts in their fields who have made it through the space program. So, like, she can get lots done at this. She respects the International Space Station and all her colleagues. She respects them just fine. There's not a problem there. It's just... She just has a very particular sense of, like, what is important. So she doesn't really have a conversation with them. She doesn't really like talking about television or media. She's not really into that. She really just wants to talk about stars and planets and gravitational forces. She doesn't have a lot of interest in much else, which, sometimes that's life. Sometimes you only have one interest, and that one interest is space. And you know what? That's her. She's allowed to have one interest, in that one interest being space. I don't know if it's the most appropriate. Does she need Asphalt Dan? Asphalt Dan and her, I think, would have some real challenges, because Asphalt Dan is a man of the people. He's really invested in making the world on Earth a better place, and Ivonne's head is all up in the stars. Like, he'd be like, I gotta fix a pothole, and she'd be like, well, you could fix a pothole faster if you built a, pothole fixing machine that was more quick. And he'd be like, well, I could do that, but also I'm just going into rural communities, and so that's the important things. I mean, does she have potholes? I feel like she's not really looking for someone to fill her heart. Her heart is full. It's full of science. She's not devoid. She's not missing anything. She comes from the Cher point of view about men, which is that they're like dessert. They're, no one needs them. They're like dessert. They're nice to have, but you don't need them. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that position. Yeah, you guys are all really focused on how Ivonne is she's got some challenges, and she's a little stuck up and a little her own business. But honestly, she doesn't really want to date Asphalt Dan. She's really more interested in science and doing science stuff. She's got the dating app, but I think she's a little concerned that she has the app because it's sort of a way for her to structure social engagement, where she doesn't actually care about whether or not she's successful in the dating app or dating at all or finding a partner. She's just doing it because she feels culturally obligated by her society, and she thinks about that a lot, I think. I think she thinks a lot about how women are indoctrinated with this idea that in order to be happy, they need to have other people. And that she is just using dating apps and dating people to sort of fulfill some expectation, but not really fulfill what she wants. And what she wants is to fix a satellite every day, because she loves fixing satellites. Honestly, it's one of her favorite things. The only thing she likes more than fixing satellites is designing satellites, and that's her dream job. See, I think that they would come to respect each other, but realize that neither of them needs the other, and that they can just go their separate ways. They might meet once and talk over a pancake at IHOP, and then never speak again. But that being okay, and that she doesn't need to be tethered to the earth. She just needs to be tethered to a spaceship so she doesn't float off into the abyss. And Dan doesn't need anyone, except he doesn't need anyone else, except he needs to be better friends with himself and compassionate to himself. And he really needs to settle down, because really the big challenge for Asphalt Dan is traveling the world, filling in potholes is perfectly fine in a general sense, but I don't think it's what he actually wants to be doing. I think he would prefer to fill a single pothole, or a neighborhood of potholes. It's just, he sees the potholes throughout the world, and he just knows that they all have to be filled. Yeah, definitely. She'll send him emails from space stars, and he'll send her emails with completely filled potholes, and they will like each other's posts on Instagram. I think Asphalt Dan is actually going to end up with Weldon the welder. I think is what's going to happen. because I feel like they are more compatible long term. I think Weldon the Welder is more gregarious, and I think that Asphalt Dan needs like a really gregarious, outgoing person to really pull him out of his shell. So this little satellite's done, and that's fun. Oh, well, we'll see you later, Cindy. So yeah, no, so this little satellite's done. It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty dope. So she can float around and fix it. Fix. Yeah, I think that they might end up, I don't know. It's a long-term story. Be safe out there, Cindy. Don't be too, don't lose your cookies. Be safe out there. So yeah, no, so it's like a cute little satellite, does satellite stuff. Boop, boop. She's fixing it so she can send him an email about fixing the satellite. So yeah, no, that's good. So yeah, I think that that'll be good long term for them. And Ivonne Vonvonnovich is she's a whole person. She's not incomplete. She doesn't need to be fixed. And she works on stuff. She tries to be more social, but she also recognizes that she enjoys the isolation of the stars and not speaking to anyone but two people for an extended period. And I think that she doesn't really, it's not only that she doesn't need a man, it's that she needs no one. She would do a single woman mission if she could, but I think she also recognizes that that's probably a bad idea. But she's just like happy alone in the stars, fixing satellites. That's her new jam. I think that's what she would learn in the movie, is that she needs no one but herself and her trusty wrench. Although I'm not sure if wrench is really a good tool for, it's a sort of awkward tool to use. I feel like a standard wrench is a really awkward repair tool for space. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know enough about space is the deal. I mean, I think she'd be happy to have a buddy in space. I think they're not that buddies, they're colleagues. She really likes having colleagues that she can write papers with together. She loves co-authoring papers. That's her favorite thing. That's her favorite relationship structure, is co-author, paper co-author. Ideal relationship for her, co-pilot and paper co-author. But tea is nice. And yeah, I think that she's got a cool head. She's chill. She's not particularly emotional. But she's really patient and understanding, which I think is good for a space lady. She'd be the wise space person that in the movie that the lead characters would send emails to her and she'd reply and she'd tell them about her advice. I think that's what she's going to do. She's going to start an advice column called Ask a Cosmonaut. And she will give life advice based on her pragmatic and sort of like rigorous expectations. Do you have any questions that you would ask Ivonne Vonvonnovich about how to live your life better in the cosmonaut way? I think that'd be an ideal situation. I think that would make a fun ask column about, not necessarily like that they just happen to be it's their side gig as a writer is to write a help column from space. So I think that's a fun idea. So she's got a really stellar jawline. First of all, look at that jawline. That is an intense jawline. I think that's just like very intense jawline. But she lives and works in space, and she writes a help column, and I think that's ideal. And she talks about her difficulties in finding love, although she's not really looking for love. She's really looking for sort of just to see what's out there, not necessarily. How does Ivana handle the glass ceiling as a cosmonaut? Well, fortunately, she has a trusty wrench, so she can smash through the glass ceiling. One of the benefits of being also a cosmonaut is that as a woman, she is pretty well respected at this point because she's so reliable. She does have some concerns that she's being tokenized in some important ways. And so she does write some help guides specifically for young girls about how to fix satellites. She's written several YouTube. She's got a YouTube channel where she fixes the satellite via YouTube and talks about female empowerment while she does so. So that's kind of fun. Female empowerment and fixing satellites. I think that's her jam. I think that the biggest challenge is that she really has had to really work to get the pay differential resolved. And for the most part, she has, but only through the assistance of her male colleagues who were able to give her the information she needed on the discrepancy. So they made her aware of it, and she suspected as much, and she worked with her male colleagues, who are pretty good guys, who respect her, to solve that discrepancy. I think that there is some concerns where they ask her some very dumb questions that she has to sort of like pop off her helmet for, like, how will you use menstrual products in space? And then she's just like, shut up, you're so stupid, I hate you. But then she puts it back on and then is professional, and then gives them an explanation about what products might be the most useful. And then she does research on space products for women and people who would need certain kinds of products. So she does what she needs to do. Hello, Robin. We're talking about Ivonne Vonvonnovich, who is a cosmonaut and writer who fixes satellites and is a well-rounded, stable person emotionally, and is generally content with their life. It's why she can't be a lead character in a movie. It's really hard to have a lead character in a movie who's like hyper competent. You need to have like a place of weakness, and she doesn't really have a lot of weaknesses, and she doesn't have a lot of. It's hard to have a movie where you don't have a lead character sing about what they want in life. She's not really good for a romantic comedy lead, at least, because she's not like. She's happy. She is happy. There's no unhappiness in her. Her only unhappiness is the B-27 satellites are notoriously bad design and have some really unfortunate design flaws that constantly are breaking down that she's having to like manage. It's not ideal. I don't think she's like totally upset about it, but it is a. I think she has like real friends. I think she might have automaton friends. But there's not a lot of robots at that level of... She would tell you they don't really have automatons of that sophistication to be friends. She has very strong positive feelings about the grabber arm on her space shuttle. Yes, Ivonne Vonvonnovich thinks it's important to maintain quarantine. She definitely is not a sidekick. She is in her mid-50s, which is pretty old for a cosmonaut at this point. But she's been doing it for so long. She is a cat person, but doesn't have a cat because she's in space so often. She thinks it'd be rude to have a cat, but she regularly cat sits for her friend Meredith. Meredith works at the home base where she's communicating with, where she tries to solve problems. Meredith is a much bigger mess. Meredith has got 2 divorces and is defaulting on a mortgage, so she just tries to support Meredith as best she can, because Meredith is, Ivonne is like, Meredith, my darling, how could you let this happen? She's like, Comrade Meredith, how could you? This is ludicrous. She has plenty of friends. Again, it's not that she doesn't have friends. It's that she doesn't have... She's not aching to find love. She's looking in a sort of like one looks in a refrigerator in which they know there's not anything that they really want. And they're not really hungry, but they're just looking to look. To explore the possibilities of some future when they might be hungry. But the important part is that Ivonne Vonvonnovich is just not that hungry. She's only hungry for adventure and for exploration and for filling out spreadsheets and writing articles with co-authors. Yes, Meredith is her chaotic friend. She generally likes Meredith, but every so often Meredith does something quite absurd, and she's just like, Meredith, do not make me whack you with my wrench to give you some sense of sanity. So yes, that's our new character, is Ivonne Vonvonnovich. She does the best she can. I hope you guys are all doing really good. I know it's a really rough time right now. Stuff is really complicated and really painful, but I want you to know that it's not... Ivana would want you to know that disasters happen in space all the time. Like, all the time. Oh, no, she only does split. She splits. It's always 50-50. She has excellent co-writers she works with. But, yeah, no. Ivana would say that the stars are here forever and that we're here for only a small amount of time. And that even when times are hard, that there are bright moments in all of those times, and that we just do our best to value those bright moments. We're very aware of the sadness, June. There are lots of people who are dying, dead. There's a lot of tragedy in the world right now. But Ivana sees it all from space, and she can see that this is just part of an endless pattern of change and transformation, and that things are tragic, but at the same time are just part of the world. So she doesn't, as she would say, it takes a lot of effort to pull away from the gravity of something. It's better to orbit it and engage with it on its level as you feel it. So engage with those feelings. Don't let them drag you in. Just orbit them and evaluate them and study them and prepare yourself to what that means for you long term. But she would say that crashing into the emotional atmosphere is probably a bad idea, and that eventually you're not going to want to do that, is what she would say. I'm going to get really existential for a moment, folks, so just she's a very deep lady. She thinks about space and existentialism, she took a minor in philosophy, and she found staring into the empty stars from Earth and looking at Earth as like a really cathartic experience. Stuff is really hard right now, and that is very real. That's a very real experience to be in. And things may or may not, things will be different. She is an excellent role model. She is very Russian. Although, for a Russian, she does love the French. She does love Germans a lot. So, she does love Nietzsche a lot. So, that's one thing. She also really appreciates Kierkegaard in a big way. But I do think that things are really hard right now. And I do think that things are going to be hard for a while. I don't know when things are going to be easy again. I'm not sure when I'm going to feel comfortable about when I'm going to know about the future. And that making plans is really hard right now. But I think it's really easy to make plans that last only for a few days or a few hours. So just saying, like, I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to take this time for this person tomorrow. And really spending our time really just engaging with other people and remembering that, like, ultimately, the only thing that, like, our relationships are with each other are more important than most other things. And so it's really important to connect with people and continue to make stuff. It doesn't need to be good stuff. Just make stuff. I mean, I'm not wise. I am a person like everybody else. We can say Ivonne Vonvonnovich is pretty wise, but I would have to talk to a history buff about the relationship with the Russians and the Germans. I do think it's really complicated historically. Aw, thanks. Oh, that sounds good. That's a good way to spend your time. I'm going to attempt to play a new video game, and I'm going to spend time with my partner. And that's what I'm going to do today. It's just a Lady Grey. It's my Earl Grey cream. I have more Earl Grey cream than I have any other tea left. I have 10 empty tea boxes and 3 full ones. So I've got not very much tea left at the house. I actually have to make an order soon. I am really actually quite devastated with my lack of Scottish breakfast right now. But thank you, Kitty. I want you to know that things are temporary and that they aren't, and that it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be despair or be scared. But the future is both undetermined and also always undetermined. It could get worse, it could get better. That's really not a meaningful distinction in the grand scheme of things. Because ultimately our control is limited in this world. Tea does make everything better, as does cosmonauts and satellite dishes, and strange asphalt-based folk heroes. But I try, and I think this is important, and thank you, Robert, for posting the Patreon. I try really hard to think about, not so much about how the future is going to be either better or worse, but that right now, focusing on this moment right now with you, spending time with people that are here. That's I think the ideal situation. It's okay to like think about the future and to fret about the future. But it's also good to think about what's happening right now. What is your feeling, the sensation of being in a body, in a space, on a planet, spinning around a sun that's going around a galaxy in an infinitely expanding universe? Like, at a certain point, you just have to focus on that moment that you're currently having with those people, with the folks around you, with those animals, with those pets, and just crystallizing those moments and turning those moments into a sort of armor to remind yourself that things are going to change, will always change, may get better, may get worse, may get better for a while, then get worse, may get worse, then get better. It's a roller coaster, quite literally, but that things are not simple, yet not complicated, if that makes sense. I'm trying to read the notes and they're just very long. Thank you. Thanks, Louise. And you should reach out to us. Reach out to your fellow entourage members. They're all there. We do regular sewing adventures. We have other events all the time. So it's important to reach out to the folks that are in the community. We have a community here of folks who are around, who are regularly available via our fortunately, very engageable group on Facebook. You should take advantage of that. Let them know that you're feeling sad. Remind people about where things are scary. And just recognize that, sometimes you gotta wallow for a little bit and then move forward. But or not even move forward, but be in the moment. That's the number one thing that I would take. It's what Ivana would want to say is be in the moment. Be here. Don't think about moving forward. Don't think about what you need to do next, how you need to make things better, what needs to be fixed. Don't think about how things are broken or difficult or easy or beautiful in the future. Think about what's happening right now. If you send us an Ask the Arbiter, we will respond to that. Yeah, and it's true. Charity's correct. There is someone around all the time on the internet because we have people from across the world and there are schedules all over the place. But it is not too late to take care of yourself. And it is okay to take care of yourself. I know that seems like a weird thing to say, but it's okay to be. I am of the opinion that as a culture, steampunks or otherwise, June, all you have to do for the dreg challenge, I'm going to change gears because this is getting real sappy. All you have to do for the drug challenge is just post it to the page. Just post it to the Temporal Entourage group page, and then just tag it #dregs2020, and we will find it. No problem. You can just post the video of you talking to us about the tea that you're drinking and how you feel about it and whether you think it was good. Mam's Q made a tea that was pretty good. I made one that was pretty bad. It was a mixed bag all around. A mixed satchel, as it were. But I want you to know, and I do hope you guys do provide some of these dreg videos. We may or may not award prizes, but we're only going to award prizes if you do it within the 30 days. So we're just setting a sort of expectation that you try to do it before the end of the month, If you don't, it's not a big deal. You can still do it later. And we might still send prizes. Who knows? We're pretty inconsistent on the prize front when we will or will not send prizes at our discretion. Yeah, no, we needed to avoid the sinking into the atmosphere of Weepy Town. The important thing to remember is you are not alone. We are all struggling. We are all struggling together. This is fortunate that this is a tragedy that we've all this year is a global tragedy that we are all experiencing at the same time, different degrees of difficulty, but stay safe, Louise. Don't work too hard. Work exactly the amount you need to and no more. Take time for yourself, rest up, and take care of each other, because that's all that matters, is taking care of each other. And taking care of really just means listening, engaging, having patience, having kindness. It's not like saying that we need to save each other or rescue each other from, the ends of the earth. If that ends up happening, that's great. But really, the expectation is that you make your needs known. Because we can't know that you're sad, or that you feel lonely, or that you feel despair, unless we know, unless our group and community knows. You have to tell us if you're sad for us to help you. And that's part of the deal. And so, as a community, let's be upfront about where we're at. I'm sad a lot. It's rough out here for a tea baron, for a grand arbiter. It's rough out here. It's not a good time. I've had one stuffed nostril for 2 weeks, it feels like. It's been more like a week. But it's a rough time out here for everybody. And I am not going to pretend that this has been easy and fun the whole time. I'm not gonna. It's not worth it. We're not going to pretend that everything's good all the time, because it's not. And we're not going to put a veneer of artificial saccharine nonsense attached to stuff. That's what we'd call superfluous. A superfluous veneer. It is tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be rough. Things are going to be hard, lonely, sad, all those bad things. But I am still alive. I am in this moment. I am in this moment with you. I hope that the exciting tales of emotionally sturdy, compassionate, but not really looking for love, but might be open to it, Ivonne Vonvonnovich was interesting to you. I always know that you guys love some Asphalt Dan, so he'll always make an appearance every so often, But I hope that these things, these little things that connect us, little toys or catchphrases or costumes or tutorials, that these things that sort of bind us all together, this sort of the garnish of life that makes our relationships work, those things are valid and valuable and really are the things that matter. Because ultimately, the only things that truly matter are the things that we put time into. And any amount of time that you put into stuff, be it art or video games or television or exercise, but I respect and love you if you do lots of gym stuff, but I can't do it. And please don't try to convince me that I should, because it's too hard. I'm a delicate flower. But putting that time into stuff is really, that's what's valuable. And it's only going to continue to have value as we move forward, because I don't know when we're going to be at a convention again. I don't know when we're going to have, you know, any sense of normalcy. But I do know that we will be here for as long as we are able. And that if you are in a moment with us, that moment matters. Be sure to wash your hands, wear your masks, and take care of each other. We'll see you next time. And don't tell me what to do, Robin. I don't like exercise. Blech. I'm just teasing. We'll talk about it later. Goodbye. See you, folks.